Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today's question is, can I analyze the testimony of Amber Heard on day 17 of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard defamation trial and offer an updated case conceptualization? Another question here is, who do I think is winning this trial in terms of the reputational gain or loss? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video. First, I'll offer a brief background of the case, move to the summary of the testimony, then offer my analysis. In December of 2018, the Washington Post published an op-ed written by the actress Amber Heard, in which she implied that she was a victim at the hands of her ex-husband Johnny Depp, although she did not specifically name him. Johnny Depp filed a lawsuit against Amber Heard for defamation, and she responded by filing a countersuit. In April of 2022, the trial started in Virginia. Now moving to the summary of the testimony, I will be covering Amber Heard's testimony under cross-examination from day 17, as well as the redirect. I have changed the order of some of these items and paraphrased in this summary. Many of the statements made by Amber Heard are allegations. It's her version of what happened. It doesn't mean that her statements are necessarily true. Johnny Depp's attorney starts by asking Amber questions about the knife that she gave him as a birthday present. This seems like an unusual gift considering what Amber was alleging. Like she was saying that Johnny Depp was violent, yet here she's handing him a knife. Johnny's attorney directed Amber's attention to the notorious Australia incident. There were repeated questions about the order of events, but Amber said she could not remember the exact sequence. Amber had no memory of whether or not Johnny was wearing rings during this alleged attack. The questioning shifted to the lack of medical documentation for Amber's alleged injuries. This makes it appear as though she never had the injuries. Amber denied that she was the one that wrote these strange messages on the mirror in the house in Australia. She suggested that Johnny was responsible for those writings. Amber denied that she pursued Johnny around the house, even though in a recording that was played, we hear Johnny talk about retreating into bathrooms and bedrooms. Amber said that she was scared of him during the altercation. At this point, we see a series of notes written by Amber. In one note to Johnny, she wrote, "I will rip you apart." In another one, she wrote, "I'm sorry I hurt you." Then we see these journal entries. I guess Amber wrote notes in a journal for Johnny to read. She wrote things like, "I had a great honeymoon," "I am sorry," "I can't live without you," and "we are tied together forever," which is kind of a scary thought. Amber said that she was just trying to nurture peace in the relationship. Amber had taken a photograph of a bed that was allegedly damaged by Johnny, but did not photograph blood that was supposedly on the bed. This is just another in a long string of curious photography choices by Amber. It seems like she was always missing the most inculpatory evidence. Several photographs were reviewed, which were supposedly taken long after Amber's injuries, but none of these injuries were visible. Amber was asked questions about an email where she talked about planning to use drugs at a party. She admitted that she used MDMA and mushrooms. This testimony makes it seem as though it wasn't only Johnny who had a problem with substances. Perhaps they were both at fault in that area. Throughout the cross-examination, there are a number of messages and recordings that appear to paint Amber as the aggressor. For example, Amber sent a text message in September of 2015. She wrote, "Don't force me to do something else to you." In October of 2015, Amber was pleading with Johnny to come home. She wrote that she promised not to fight, and she said she was sorry. In an audio recording of Johnny and Amber arguing about him wanting to leave for a bit, Amber appeared to be needy. She said things like, "I'm dying, you're killing me." This is one of those recordings that supports the idea of borderline personality traits. Amber claimed that she said those things because she was scared for Johnny. She was trying to prevent him from starting a drug cycle, which is not a motorcycle made of drugs. I think she was saying that he was about to initiate another round of substance use. Additional audio recordings were played in court. Amber said, "I can't promise I won't get physical." She indicated she was so mad she could lose it. Amber claimed that the personal assistant, Ben King, who testified some time ago, was mistaken when he heard Amber ask him, "Have you ever been so angry you just lost it?" There was a recording where Amber seemed to be minimizing her violent behavior. She told Johnny, "You were not punched. I was hitting you. You were fine." She said that she did start the fight. She also said that she was sorry about hitting him with a door during the notorious bathroom incident. Johnny's attorney suggested that Amber was not really damaged by the hoax claim, so Amber is saying that one of Johnny's attorneys claimed that she was perpetrating a hoax. That's really the basis for her countersuit for defamation against Johnny. Johnny's attorney pointed out that Amber's contract with L'Oreal was extended, and she has been in movies. Amber defended her statement that she was not the initial aggressor ever. She denied assaulting another partner at an airport. She claimed that this information was planted by Johnny's team. Not much really happened under redirect. Amber made it seem as though she was entitled to $32.5 million during the divorce settlement. She said she didn't want the money, and she suggested that she earned her role in the movie Aquaman. She didn't have Johnny's help to get it. Rather, he was a hindrance. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts about a few items that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Amber testified about numerous occasions when Johnny allegedly struck her and caused visible injuries to her. At the same time, Amber had an affinity for memorializing different events, like through photography, audio recordings, and writing in a journal. In all of these efforts to record what happened, it appears as though Amber didn't seem to ever really capture Johnny in the act, so to speak. There was this one video of him attacking the cabinets, but outside of that, there's not a lot of documentation about his alleged bad behavior. Either Amber had really bad luck, or she's exaggerating the frequency and severity of these alleged physical altercations. Item number 2, Amber has painted Johnny out to be two people, a substance-using monster and the best husband in the world. His substance use is a major element in her story of mistreatment. Essentially, Amber argued that drugs represent Johnny's motive. This is a smart tactic by Amber. This provides people who like Johnny a way to side with Amber without betraying Johnny. They can acknowledge all of Johnny's wrongdoings and believe he's a good guy at the same time, because it's not really his fault. He's fighting a demon he cannot vanquish, namely these substances. The difficulty for Amber is that now she's admitted to using drugs as well. This puts her in a precarious position, one that makes her look like a hypocrite. Does her substance use make her a monster like Johnny is a monster, or is Amber exempt from the rule that she created? Item number 3. There was one recording I talked about which featured Amber begging Johnny to stay. She said things like, "This is killing me." Amber argued that she was trying to prevent him from using drugs. She could be telling the truth, but the characteristics of her delivery, like the intensity, tone, and repetitiveness, better align with someone who's worried about themselves. Her sense of urgency appears to be based on a fear of rejection or abandonment. I don't believe for a second that she was imploring Johnny with such emotionality and vigor because he was about to use drugs. Item number 4. As far as how Amber presented during her testimony, I feel as though she did well with her mannerisms and appearance. She was polite and well-spoken, although I think she looked and spoke directly to the jury a little too frequently. It seems likely that her lawyers advised her to do that. Amber's weakness during her testimony was her inability to concede anything. This is becoming a theme with Amber. She will only be satisfied with a major victory. She's never wrong about anything. Everyone who said anything that contradicts what she said is mistaken. Johnny's testimony was not quite as ambitious. He was a little bit more willing to accept his faults, and perhaps simply more aware of how not accepting those faults would be perceived. This made him seem slightly more credible or more insightful. Item number 5. As I mentioned in a prior video, there's no question here that someone is lying in this case. I wonder if some of the lying may feel justified. For example, Amber lied about donating the money from her divorce to charity, but Johnny sued her, so she felt justified in being deceptive. Perhaps the alleged mistreatment can be explained the same way. If Johnny was controlling, demanding, and willing to distance himself from Amber, she may have perceived this as a rejection. If she does in fact have borderline personality traits, as one clinician testified, that threat of abandonment would be like violence in her mind. So if Johnny never did strike her, she may feel justified in saying that he did, because to her, it was just as bad as physical violence. It's kind of like when people falsely testify against a defendant who is not guilty of a crime with which they are charged, but they are guilty of something else. People don't feel bad about their false testimony, even though it is morally wrong. Item number 6 is another case conceptualization. This one is based on all the testimony through day 19 of the trial, so 2 days past Amber's last day on the stand. As this case continued, I have developed several case conceptualizations, some favorable to Johnny, some favorable to Amber, and others critical of both. Elements of those conceptualizations are included in this current one. Here's a theory that I believe fits with the current available evidence. Again, this is just a theory, my opinion. Both Johnny and Amber struggled with relationships, boundaries, and substance use. As adults, they have lived lives of privilege. They have had time and resources to pursue all their desires. They are both on a quest for perfection, pleasure, and success. They are driven to get what they want. Substance use represented a major distraction and goal in that process. Their grandiose and self-centered attitudes were not compatible with being in a relationship. From the beginning, there was trouble, including arguments and physical altercations. Both partners wanted to have a good relationship, but they did not have the skills or temperament to accomplish that goal. As importantly, they did not have the insight to realize that their marriage was failing. They flailed around uncontrollably, trying everything they could to make the relationship work, but none of their actions came from a place of wisdom. They were reluctant to end the relationship because of what it meant to them personally, as opposed to any concern for their partner. In essence, the relationship was an addiction. They were addicted to the other person, as well as the idea of this Hollywood power couple. One could argue that this court proceeding is a relapse. It represents their failure to distance themselves from the relationship. Johnny Depp is a gracious and decent man when he is not using substances. When he is using, his behavior is horrible. He quickly forgives himself for his misconduct when he was under the influence. Johnny was willing to walk away from the marriage and put it all behind him. Amber initially consented to this arrangement. She was willing to put it all behind her as well. But then she decided that Johnny had to pay. One could argue that this was her moment of relapse. She goes on a crusade to paint herself as a victim, which she very well may have been. She craved the attention of being in that relationship with Johnny. Becoming a public figure for domestic violence was a way to replace the lost attention and a definite way to get a reaction from Johnny. Again, it was a relapse. She re-engaged. Even though Johnny was willing to let it go, Amber's accusations represented a bridge too far. Both people wanted vindication and the ultimate victory. Now moving to the final item, number 7. Who do I think is winning in this trial? When I say winning in this trial, I mean winning in terms of reputational gain, because I don't think either one is actually going to prove defamation in this case. This case has a lot of moving pieces. Generally, I'm reluctant to put too much stock in the witnesses who were tied strongly to one person or the other, like agents of Johnny and agents of Amber. Many of these witnesses are at a great risk to be biased. My opinion is more heavily based on the objective evidence. Here are a few items that we know for certain in this case. This is not a complete list. Amber lied about donating the money from her divorce to charity. Police officers who responded to a domestic violence call involving the couple didn't see any injuries on Amber. A number of photographs do not show injuries when they probably should have based on Amber's story. Both Johnny and Amber used substances during their marriage. They were both involved in horrendous arguments and fights, including physical altercations. They both made a lot of statements recorded in text messages, audio recordings, and through other methods that make them look unkind. Amber taunted Johnny about being believed as a domestic violence victim. Amber admitted to striking Johnny, although she said it was in self-defense and defense of another. Johnny denies ever striking Amber. When weighing the evidence, I think that Johnny is probably less at fault. It's not a landslide in his favor, but I do think that the evidence tends to support his theory a little bit better than Amber's story. I feel as though Johnny has been less devious in his testimony. Amber appears to be more manipulative and strategic. I think both of them have lied quite a bit, but Amber's tendency to exaggerate and prevaricate is more pronounced. I don't believe that Johnny ever physically struck Amber, at least not offensively, but I do believe that what Amber experienced could be classified as domestic violence. Therefore, she was not defaming Johnny when she said that she was a victim. I believe that Amber was the aggressor in most of their arguments, and Johnny tended to retreat. I believe that Johnny was jealous and controlling and was intoxicated much of the time during their relationship. I do not believe that Amber directly caused Johnny's fingertip to be sliced off, like the whole flying vodka bottle finger removal scenario. However, it may have been cut off during the course of an argument that Amber started and perpetuated. I believe that Amber was responsible for the steaming pile on the bed, so to speak, not a teacup Yorkie. I think the teacup Yorkie has a better defamation case than either Johnny or Amber. My opinion that Johnny is less at fault is not to say I think Johnny is an angel and Amber is a devil. I think they are both people who would benefit from growing up a bit and taking responsibility for their behavior. Johnny and Amber have given people a lot of reasons to dislike them. I think that Johnny has won the battle of reputation already. He managed to flip this whole situation around. He was the underdog to start with, and now he's in a good position. His gain has come at Amber's expense, but not in equal measure. Amber has lost more than Johnny has gained. If Amber is telling the truth, this trial so far has been a disaster for her. The problem for her is that the objective evidence simply doesn't support her story very well. Those are my thoughts on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.